If we smashed every TV, millions would convert. Man, a world where we don't have thousands of religious zealots crashing out over every little thing that Fox News tells them to crash out over? Sign me the hell up. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be returning to r/religiousfruitcake. Now, as always, I have to say at the start of this video that the purpose of this video is to point out hypocrisy and harmful behaviors in specific individuals. It is not to slander religion as a whole. We are not here to say people shouldn't be religious. I am here to point out specific hypocrisy and harmful individuals, right? I believe that people have a right to be religious just the same way that other people have a right to not be religious. However, people don't have a right to use their religion to harm others or to pressure other people into specific lifestyles because their religion told them so, right? Just as someone who isn't religious cannot pressure them into living a lifestyle because we don't have a religion that says so, right? Basically, religious people and non-religious people can very much coexist as long as they are not dictating each other's actions. That is where this subreddit comes in, because we are very much pointing out the actions of people who don't exactly follow that rule. Also, apologies for the absolute state of our living room. Me and Leo are in the process of moving. We will have moved house in less than a week of recording this. We'll already have moved house by the time this video comes out, so that's why it's a bit of a mess. Anyway, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? 10 years ago today, the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage in the United States. This is the second most damaging Supreme Court ruling in American history. Why? Gay people can marry, and that harms no one. So why was this damaging? Why exactly? Please explain why exactly this was damaging and who this was damaging to, because legalizing gay marriage has only meant that gay people who already wouldn't be marrying straight people can marry each other. So it's not exactly like straight people are losing out. Where was God when I was being abused? Allowing it to happen so it can humble you and then be able to use you. Humble yourself unto the Lord. Trust me, if he wasn't there, you wouldn't have made it. Really? It's a lot to say, yes, my God allowed you to be abused, you know? There's the argument that some people make that God doesn't intervene with these things as a whole, that he just won't intervene because human choice is human choice, right? However, allowing it to happen, saying that he's allowed it to happen so he can use you, is a step too far in my eyes. That's not gonna convert me. Saying God allowed me to be abused so that he could use me is not going to convert. I'm sorry, but that's simply not. This video is great because American taxpayers, your money is funding this group. This is a White House tax-funded religious group. You got like people talking in tongues here. You've got this woman who, if you're gonna do something like this, you'd get the person that's good at public speaking to do something like this, right? Because she's trying to say this prayer to amp everyone up, but she's not doing a good job.
That America will come back to God. We will come back to God. Nothing will stop this nation. And we speak right now by the authority of heaven. You told us to bring heaven to earth. Heaven is being released through your people right now.
I just have one thing to say to this. You know, apart from the fact that we need to separate church from state, and that literally threading religion into a White House organization funded by taxes is incredibly corrupt and problematic, the only thing I have to say is a direct quote from the Bible. This is Matthew 6:5-15. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. This book truly has a scripture for everything when it comes to the people that claim to follow it. Does it not? A Christian future is inevitable. Atheists, 0 kids, 12 cats. Christians, 0 cats, 12 kids. It's amazing that they think that atheists don't have children, and also that people can't have children and cats, and also that the children of Christians don't become atheists. There's a lot of assumptions being made here that are just not true. Atheists have children. My dad's an atheist. Religious parents can have children who then go on to not be religious. My mum was a Mormon. I was raised Mormon. I am not Mormon anymore. Neither is my older sister. These things happen. They can happen and they will continue to happen. And in fact, most statistics show that religions are actually decreasing at the moment because people are going, a lot of the people pushing these religions and leading these religions are massive hypocrites. Why would I join a religion led by a hypocrite who doesn't actually follow the words of their own religion? So as a result, the religions are decreasing. Maybe if people actually elected to put good people in charge who would actually push the goods of the religion instead of the bads, you'd have more people converting. But as it is, a large portion of the religion is being used to weaponize against gay people and people of color. So people aren't about that. The surprising unchristian themes in How to Train Your Dragon. Oh no, a film about Vikings isn't Christian. But in all honesty, there's a whole streaming service that's basically Netflix but for religious people, right? And surprise, surprise, no one uses it because the shows on there are trash. So they'll complain about films not being made for them because no one's watching the films that are. But also, How to Train Your Dragon and the message it pushes forwards could really be used by Christians. It really could, because you know what the message of How to Train Your Dragon is? Blind hate towards someone that isn't yourself harms both of you. The message of How to Train Your Dragon is that the Vikings have a blind hate towards the dragons. They will kill them and the dragons will kill them and they will endlessly fight because no one will change that. However, the main character Hiccup doesn't want to kill dragons. He's incapable of it. He saves a dragon, they bond, and they realize, hey, we're not too bad. This is something that can happen. And they spread the lack of hatred, they spread compassion throughout both groups, and both groups learn to coexist and love each other. This is something that a lot of modern Christians, like this gospel nerd right here, could probably learn from, because it actually is a fairly Christian-aligned message. But they wouldn't know that because they choose to ignore those parts of the Bible. Female World Cup official flees Qatar to afford a sentence of 100 lashes and 7 years in jail for extramarital sex after reporting that she was raped. This is the same country that was like, oh yeah, you have to respect our decisions during the World Cup when people would turn up, you know, when people were gay or would wear shirts that they didn't agree with or that kind of thing. But respecting their decisions is them saying that someone should be imprisoned for 7 years and whipped because they were raped. You know, when a decision like that is very clearly influenced by religion, not that the religion actually tells you that, it's how certain individuals interpret it, your religion is problematic. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that all people of that religion are problematic. However, the people that would enforce a rule like this on someone for something that obviously isn't their fault, yeah, those people practicing that religion are problematic. Us versus them. Modest dress, skin-tight clothes. Honors modesty, glamorizes hypersexuality. Draws them closer to Islam. Distances girls from deen. Celebrates Islamic identity. Encourages Western standards. This one's frustrating because the dolls are actually cute. That's actually a cute doll and I like it. But they've advertised it with culture war bullshit. You could have just advertised this doll on its own and gone, look, it's a cute doll for Muslim people. And that would have been really cute and I would have appreciated that. But because you turned it into some culture war bullshit using AI slop to push your idea, because that's not what Barbies look like, and said that, oh, the Western culture bad, you've just ruined it. This could have been cute. This could have been a nice, cute little thing, and you've ruined it. This guy's trying way too hard. Way too hard. I think that this guy might be covering for something. Like the mannerisms, the dress sense, the hair, the way he talks. I think this guy might be covering for something, you know?
Coming up in here getting promoted with all that gayness. Ouch.
I think he's trying a bit too hard.
We are gay though. You know why? Because gay means happy. and I'm gonna have the joy of the Lord.
I think this guy's
Can I
trying
get an
too hard.
amen?
I think he's trying way too hard. I think he's covering for something. I don't know what you guys think. This is coming from someone who is queer, part of the LGBT community. I think this guy might be covering for something. Maybe overcompensating for something. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. Might be a closet involved there. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that, but I think there might be a closet involved here. I've never seen an atheist get mad at Satan, but mention Jesus Christ, they start screeching. That is because atheists worship Satan. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Atheists don't get mad at Satan because atheists don't believe Satan exists. Atheists also don't get mad at Jesus because they don't believe Jesus exists. They don't get mad at Jesus. They get mad at people using Jesus to justify their actions and force their rules upon people that aren't religious. There's a difference. Saying that atheists worship Satan is stupid because the only people that believe in Satan are Christians. Atheists don't believe in Satan. They don't worship him because they don't believe in him. They also don't get mad when they hear about him because they don't worship him. They would get mad at Satanists who use Satan to justify horrible acts. They also get mad at Christians who use Christianity as a reason to justify horrible acts. These are the same thing, but they don't get mad at Jesus or Satan because they don't believe in them. Sadly, you can read a Bible in prison, but not in school. Perhaps if they read it in school, they wouldn't be in prison. Now, this is just lying and wrong and lying. It's a shitty little AI slop post because half of these kinds of posts are always AI slop because these are talentless hacks that don't have pictures or art to back their claims, so they have to use AI. We've already seen a couple of those in this video. Now, first of all, you can read Bibles in school. What you can't do is teach it as fact. Any child that wants to read a Bible has the right to pull out a Bible in school and read it. And in fact, even in the UK, I was taught about Christianity and Islam in school. We had classes about that. Those things were taught. But aside from that, saying maybe if they read the Bible in school, they wouldn't be in prison. So according to FBI stats, according to a census done by the FBI, these stats vary a little bit depending on the year and when they were done. However, they have varied between about 0.1% to 7% of inmates are atheist. Yeah, a census done of federal prisons in, I believe, 2013 showed that atheists, or people reporting to be atheist in a prison, was as low as 0.1%. The vast majority of people in prisons are religious. Now, obviously, you do have to take these stats with a small grain of salt because there are a lot of programs available to inmates and to people getting out of prison that are only available to you if you are Christian, right? Because Christians only care about Christians. It's not like the Bible teaches you to love everybody regardless of Christians. You know, it's not like the Good Samaritan is one of Jesus's most famous parables saying that you should help others regardless of whether they are a part of your religion or not. Nah, that doesn't matter. No, we only help Christians. So basically, if you leave prison, there are a lot of resources available to you exclusively if you are Christian, which is just messed up. So yes, there is a sway in how many people identify as Christian in a prison because of those resources. However, I wouldn't say that that's enough for a potential census to show as low as 0.1% in federal prisons. So there are still a distinct and large majority of people going to prison who are religious. Just gotta put that fact out there. The lion only marries minors. And then the lion goes to prison for a long time. Also, is this what the lion does? It's go on TikTok and upload videos of you going, I'm wet. Do lions go out into the rain, stand there getting soggy, do literally nothing to a camera and then post it on TikTok? Is that what lions do? Because I guess I'm not a lion then. Oh no, what a shame. I'm also not a nonce. He threatened to shoot up a pride festival, then the FBI and cops showed up at his home. He said he'd be helping God by killing the queers at local event. Unfortunately, this is the kind of message that is being taught to people, especially right now in America. It's the unfortunate truth, but that is what is being taught to people quite widely across America. Politics has become so ingrained in religion in America, and a lot of that politics is conservative politics, and it's forced its way into religion and is teaching people that being gay is wrong, being queer is wrong, and that God would want you to do something about it. Those kinds of people are not just teaching in churches. Those kinds of people are in political positions. They are in charge of the country. And that is the point we are at now. So whenever you see those TikToks, which we've seen in previous videos on this channel, both in Religious Fruitcake and on places like Insane People Facebook, there are those TikToks that are like, oh, me when Christianity is banned. But they rule the country, right? They're out here trying to outlaw being gay and being trans, and in some cases winning. They are out here shooting up pride parades and saying that God wanted them to do that, and then they're going, me when Christianity banned. Basically, they do all this shit, and then when people go, I don't like that, they go, why are you persecuting me? Because all of their actions are either to harm other people or to seek persecution, because they want their persecution fetish to be fulfilled. Now, obviously, this isn't all religious people, but it is a very, very vocal group of religious people, and unfortunately, that very, very vocal group of religious people keeps ending up in power. Parents beware. Y'all are gonna get mad at me for saying this, but I don't care. Call it a reach or a stretch, or say I'm crazy or going too far, but something about these dolls are absolutely demonic. The fact that it is so trendy right now concerns me. Comparing Labubu to Pazuzu. Now, first of all, they're creating an AI picture of a demon and then being like, oh, clutch his pearls. I used an AI to create a picture to look exactly what I wanted it to look like, and it looked like the thing I was trying to make it to look like. Oh, it must be demons. But also, Labubu and Pazuzu, they share 3 of the same letters. 3 out of 6. That's 50% that they share. That's not many. That's not a lot of characters that they share. 50%, that's not even a passing grade. But also, sure, maybe that doll looks like that picture that you generated using AI, but I honestly don't get the dolls. If I'm being quite honest, I think they look cheap, they look ugly, and I don't understand why they've gotten as insanely popular as they have. They're being bought up by scalpers, and people think that if they hold on to them, they're going to be worth loads of money in the future, which they won't. It's like Beanie Babies all over again. I don't understand them. If you want to collect them, fine. I don't understand them, but they're not demonic, and they're definitely not some really obscure Mesopotamian demon, right? Because that's the other thing, is when these people can't use demons from their actual religion, they have to stretch. And this person goes, call it a stretch or say I'm reaching, but I looked up some obscure demon because it's the one that had the closest amount of letters as the doll. Still only half of the letters though. like yeah, it's a stretch because you've looked up some random obscure demon from a religion you're not even a part of to claim that they're using demonic dolls. Like, yes, that's a stretch. But that is where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. This is a wild time. As always, I want civil discussions in the comments. I don't want anybody from either side of this argument slinging insults or saying that anybody should not be allowed to be religious or anything like that. Discussion is fine. Talking about why you think certain views are wrong is fine. I will not have people saying that other people are not allowed to be religious or not allowed to be atheists. I will not have people making blanket statements over an entire religion, okay? These things are not part of a civil discussion. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, however, I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. A huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me though. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. If you do support the channel, however, you get one extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That's basically 25p per video. So please do consider that if you would like to do that. Other than that though, thank you for watching everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.